Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping back in for another video. Just want to show you guys a couple of the boas and how they're doing in the room. I have Poptart out right here and she is getting very, very big. So I need to clean out her cage. I was in here cleaning out some other stuff and she took the biggest poop possible in her water. Luckily, it's just in her water, so I need to change it out anyways, and it's easy cleaning from then. So, I'm constantly changing her water out at least 2 to 3 times a week. Either she's pooping in it or peeing in it. If you guys want an Anaconda, they are definitely worth it, but they are messy and they smell horrible because they constantly are going to the bathroom. But we can see she's probably 4.5 feet, but she's definitely getting big and she's definitely putting on some size. So for whatever reason, she looks like she's growing every time that I see her, but she really only sheds 2 to 3 times a year, which is kind of confusing. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, or I think it might be about normal that she sheds that much, but we'll just have to see. So she is definitely one of the nicest snakes that I own. I can walk around with her. I can pick her up out of the cage with no problems. I don't have any issues with her hissing, striking at the glass, wanting to bite me, anything. No weird feeding responses, nothing. And it's interesting because everybody says the anacondas are super mean. They're you can't read their body language and all this stuff, but I've had her since she was itty bitty and I've no issues at all. So she will just hang out with us if we want her to for as long as we want to, and she doesn't get annoyed or aggravated wanting to go back in the cage. But we'll put her back and hopefully she doesn't go in the water. But then I might have to give her a bath later if she does. So she's definitely liking the cage. She's definitely liking the mulch because she's constantly burying herself in here. And then this is a poorly made, do-it-yourself, almost 9-foot cage for her. And at her size right now, it's working out just fine. And I do have the heater, the radiant heat panel for her, just so if anybody's wondering how she's getting her heat with her being on the floor. So I do apologize for the glass. I know it's very, very annoying, but it's always rewarding to hang out with her after, a long day at work, or if you just want to chill out and hang out with some snakes. I trust almost all of my snakes, but I trust her the most out of every single one of them. So we'll check out the Argentine right now. She'll probably try to kill me while I'm trying to get her out, but her temperament normally when she's out is pretty decent. So we'll see what kind of mood she is in, and she looks kind of fired up, so we'll see what happens. I actually think my snake hook is getting a little too short. So I know a lot of you guys like seeing her, and some of you guys even, like I said on the last video, own some Argentines as babies, which is awesome. And I'm not seeing too many of these circulating around, and definitely now that the price has skyrocketed on them, I don't know if we'll be seeing more or few of them until the prices drop. But this is just your basic Argentine, or the normal black and white, which I think is the best combo that, well, I wouldn't even say combo, the best coloration of them. A lot of people I'm seeing are putting true red tail blood in them because it kind of makes the tail brighter and you can get some of the saddling on them. Some people are mixing the IMGs with them, I'm seeing, which would be wild because I don't even know how that would look. I guess it would just eliminate a lot of the white, so then it would be a much darker, already dark snake, which would be really, really cool and kind of interesting. But I do like them as their pure form. And yeah, I mean, as much as she wants to strike at me and bite at me and everything else while she's in the cage, when I get her out, I don't have any issues with her. But that's not to say I would trust her around my face, because I would not. And but yeah, I mean, she's got really nice features behind her eyes, and her jaw muscles in the back are huge. So much bigger than the regular boas that I have. I don't know if other locality boas have this big of the jaws in the back, but not one to want to get bit by. So she is definitely a very, very beautiful snake for just being basic black and white. So these are her adult colors. She should look like this for the rest of her life, and she will grow much larger. I think I was reading that they can get 10 feet. So that would be interesting to see if she actually would get that large. And for her being a 2017, she's definitely putting on some size. And yeah, I mean, I just cannot wait to see all these boas as they get more and more into the adult sizes and stuff like that. But her, definitely very excited about. And a couple of the boas are in shed. So the ghost boa is deep in the shed, so I'm not going to mess with her until she actually sheds out her skin. But she's, super dark, super faded out, so her colors aren't really looking too good. And then the albino, we can get her out. She should be in a semi decent mood, I hope. So, well, yeah, she's all right. So going in here without a hook sometimes is a little risky. So she's big too. She's 2017 as well. Some of these boas grow, different lengths, different sizes, but in the end, they should all be around 8 to 10 feet as full adults if they're fed properly and well taken care of. And she is, I just love the colors on her. I like the yellow on her. I like the orange on the tail. And then as we can see, kind of with the minimal lighting in here, the saddles are definitely faded out, but you can still see that there are some patterns on them. And then of course there's the nice white on the edges. So it'll be interesting to see the differences between a regular albino, the snow, and then the moon glow as they get older. So all three of these will have a yellow hue to them. I think the snow gets whiter than the moon glow, but they all should look really nice as they grow up. So he's doing very well. Really nice patterns on his tail. And we will see how he eats, because I have not fed him yet. I'll try to feed them tomorrow with the moon glow, and then I have to feed Mountain Dew, and then I got to feed the Black Mexican Kings. So until then, I'm not sure, how they're going to eat for me. They ate very well at John's. Well, he ate very well at John's, and so we'll just have to see. But really nice temperament, nice attitude on him. Really, really white head, and then I really think the body is going to be pretty yellow with a lot of nice white contrasts on the saddles, and then on the tail pattern, which already looks insane. So we'll look at a few more Unfortunately, they are in shed, so we'll move him over. And then we'll look at the Guyana that's in shed, and then the jungle hypo. So she definitely tipped over her water, and man, her eyes are really, really glossed over. I highly doubt she could even see anything with her eyes like that. So she's probably relying on all of her other senses of what's going on right now. But even though she's extremely faded out, her tail is really, really extremely bright red, which is awesome. So this is definitely one of my favorite snakes to see right out of shed, because all of her colors are just so vibrant. It's ridiculous. And that tail is like somebody took a red marker on it. So we'll see her probably in the next 4 or 5 days after her shed. And I try not to feed them while they're in shed, just so they don't have any issues with regurgitation or getting stressed out as they're digesting and going into the shed process. But I really don't think handling them like this stresses them out too much when they're in the shed process. But this is the jungle hypo pastel, and then she is just coming out of the blue phase. So you can see how her jaw is super saggy. So she'll probably shed out in the next 2 to 3 days. The saggy jaw is a really good indication that within the next day or 1 to 3 days, she should be fully shedding out. So if you guys see that they have a saggy jaw after they come out of blue, not to worry, it's definitely a normal and a good sign. All right, so we got to show the Motley before we end this video. And she is definitely my most wild snake. She is very difficult to handle. She's all over the place, super curious about everything, always wanting to go a million miles a second, and probably one of my favorite. I love the Motleys. Anything Motley is definitely my favorite. So she didn't want any time on the camera, so apologize for that. I always got to see her for a little bit, but just want to show you guys this ball python super fast, because this is probably my favorite non-pied. So pieds are my #1 favorite. Second favorite's definitely the clowns, and I love this banana clown. So he is getting tons of speckling in the last couple of weeks. I don't know how much he's gonna actually get. It'd be cool if he got a lot of them. I know it's totally random and stuff like that, which I think is cool because it gives it a unique touch to the snakes, kind of like the ghosts and that I have. It's got a ton of speckling on him or on her, and then on the Motley, she has some speckling as well. So we'll see how he works out in the room. It would be awesome to try to make banana clown pieds, although I know that if I put this with one of my pieds, I would just get hets for pieds, and then I would have to rebreed years later. So wouldn't be bad for a 4 to 5 year project. It would just be something fun and interesting to do, and then it would be awesome to have, you know, a ton of awesome looking pieds of my own, which I would probably keep everything that I tried to produce, just because it would be probably too difficult to try to get rid of anything. But just the purple on that yellow contrast is just wild to me. So that is it. I appreciate the support, guys, all the good comments, you guys sticking around for the many months, and all the new snakes and stuff like that. So 2021 should be even more exciting. We'll see what is entail then, because I do have some things that I'm wanting to do in the following year. Definitely going to keep up on the growths and the feedings on all of these girls right here. Hopefully Poptart grows a nice bit. That should be interesting. But until then, I will see you guys on the next video.